Welcome back to the latest edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. It is episode 94, and I'm very excited that this actor, singer, and Spotify verified artist is here today. For many of you, you might know him as Rellian from Captain Fantastic and Henry Bowers and young Henry Bowers from It and It Chapter 2. He also has, of this recording, 134,300 TikTok followers, 154,000 Twitter followers, and 613,000 Instagram followers. So please help me welcome Nicholas Hamilton.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it. That's a very nice intro.
All right, before we get started, do you want to go by Nicholas or Nick?
Nick. Yeah, my mom calls me Nicholas.
All righty. Nick it is. So, Nick, when did you get interested in performing, and how did that passion evolve into the desire to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
Well, I started acting when I was 11. I did a play in my primary school when I was in fifth grade. It just kind of came out of nowhere. I was playing an Elvis Presley impersonator. Just kind of came out of nowhere, and then I enjoyed it. Joined with an agent in my very small town in Australia, and got a few jobs from her. Got a bigger agent, kind of bigger jobs, and just kind of fell in love with it over the last 10-ish years now, which it feels crazy that it's been 10 years since I started. But and only in the last 2 years has music kind of turned into more of a thing. Acting is always still at the forefront, and I guess now that acting can't really be done for a little bit. Music is my main crux now.
All right, we'll make sure we'll get to the music in a second, but however, I want to ask you some things. You grew up in Bryon Bay, Australia, and moved to Los Angeles to pursue your career in the entertainment industry full time. What were some of the challenges that you faced making that transition, and how did you overcome those obstacles?
I've always wanted to come here. I guess my first US project I filmed was Captain Fantastic. I filmed in 2014. So ever since then, I've been in love with LA and the States in general. So I guess it was always a thing that as soon as I graduated high school, I was going to come out here. And I did exactly that. As soon as I turned 18, graduated high school at the start of 2019, I came out here and just kind of made everything happen on my own. I've always been a bit of an independent spirit. So coming over here on my own and doing it and buying all the furniture on my own and getting my own apartment and stuff, that was always a big a thing that I had to do, felt like I had to do. I guess the challenges, I was like, it's coming over here that young. Like I grew up so damn quickly. I guess growing up in the entertainment industry in general, you do grow up quite quickly. But moving over here at such a young age and getting in relationships and living alone. I lived alone. I've lived alone since I moved here. So I guess it's having to gain that maturity and gain a personality that quickly is something that I don't think a lot of 18-year-olds have to do.
And I commend you for doing that. And I commend you because you're right. Not a lot of 18-year-olds can do that.
Thank you.
All righty. So I want to go. You mentioned Captain Fantastic. Before we got on our call, I was listening to that brilliant cover of your ensemble did of Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine, which is fantastic. So it has been 5 years since that film's release. And how did that film help you grow as an actor?
Well, that was the first kind of big deal one that I had. We filmed that 2 years before it came out. So I was young when we were filming it and young when it was releasing. I think I was 16. It came out when we were shooting it. And pretty much right away, it was one of those things that just snowballed. We got a lot of nominations, a lot of press and stuff. And that was the first taste of something bigger than just doing like little indie movies and short films. And then obviously it would kind of compound that and get even bigger. But the making of that movie and releasing it and going through that whole press cycle with that family was sick. And it feels like, 5 years ago when I was 16, it's insane that it's been that long. And I'm still as close with all those people. It's the same thing with it. I like to keep relationships if I have them. And if I enjoy the people that I'm in those relationships with, I like to maintain them. And everyone involved in Captain Fantastic and it, I'm in love with. So we all still have group chats and email chains and all that. So, yeah.
That is really cool. It's so cool to hear about that. And speaking of it, I'm a Mexican, I am a jumping bean. Literally, I get scared very easily. So I did
Yeah.
not see it because Pennywise is a lot more scarier than ever. And thanks to Bill Skarsgård, how much did you interact with him as Pennywise?
Not a ton. I did the first time I met Bill was at the table read, and we hit it off. And then I just happened to be in the prosthetics trailer one day, and he came in. I was just kind of hanging out, and he came in, and he sat down and started getting all Pennywise, and we just like hung out and chat for those 3 hours while he was getting that done. And then he stood up at the end of it as Pennywise, and it's just, I guess I had I was eased into it more than the rest of the kids were. And I also never had any scenes with Pennywise because it kind of feels like Henry Bowers and Pennywise are both it, so you can't really see them at the same time. Right. But yeah, it's a terrifying character, and I don't blame you for not seeing the movie.
Yeah, Pennywise is definitely one of the scariest characters ever. Yeah. And I want to talk to you about Henry Bowers. So what attracted you to Henry Bowers for both it and its sequel?
I think it was his layers. So it's always whenever you play a bully, you always want to at least fake him having more than just kind of the bully personality. But luckily for Henry Bowers, it was written in there. It was written in the script where he was a bully because of his dad, and his dad was beating him because of his past, and it's why he's so vulnerable to it, the demon. And yeah, I guess I loved that, going through. You could be a proper psychopath to these kids, and then have scenes with the other Bowers members of the Bowers gang or his dad, where he's being fully weak and vulnerable, and got to show both of those sides. And I don't think that's very common in a bully character.
I totally understand. I totally understand that. So, what went through your mind? Like last year was at this time last year, we were all making plans, but then suddenly the pandemic hit us really hard. So what went through your mind when the pandemic shut down the film industry?
I mean, I guess like everyone else, it always seemed like it was just going to be a temporary thing. It was going to be like a 3-week. When it first got shut down, I managed to go back to Australia with my ex, luckily enough, like just before everything shut down. And that was like the start of April. And then we kind of hunkered down for what we thought was just going to be like 3 weeks or 4 weeks until everything kind of cleared up again. And then it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And here we are now. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's become more of a reality over the last few months, especially for me now that I've got signed projects, and I've had signed projects on the go that just can't film at all and haven't been able to film for a year now. And I think that's the most frustrating thing, is that I've had little breaks in filming before because I haven't been getting jobs, and that's on me for like not being good enough to get the jobs and not being right enough for the roles and stuff. And it's been my fault. And now the most frustrating thing is knowing that these projects and opportunities are there waiting for me, and I've got them, and I've kind of worked hard to get them and researched those roles and impressed the directors and gotten the roles. But we just can't film because of an outside source. And that's what is the most upsetting thing to me.
All right. So when did you say, okay, I'm going to go from while we're waiting for the all clear to start filming, I want to release music. So when did that transition happen?
It was pretty sudden. I have a friend, her name is Sav. She's an established artist, and we linked up a year ago to write songs, and then we just kind of fell out of touch. It was like a year and a half ago, then we fell out of touch. And then once everything hit, I think it was late July, early August, and we decided to get an Airbnb for a week and just write songs all that week, and just kind of shut ourselves off from the rest of the world and just write songs. And then during that week, we wrote what's going to be my second single, and we really enjoyed. We really, really loved the song. Sent it off to a producer friend of Sav, and then just kind of, it was almost forced on me to start actually thinking about recording and releasing from that moment. And that was cool. Like I definitely wouldn't have been making music this kind of intensely and as a career if COVID hadn't hit. But I think definitely if if we hadn't done that Airbnb and we hadn't set that up so kind of quickly with a producer and actually made it happen, then I don't think any of this would be happening. So I mean, I'm super grateful because it's a hobby of mine, but it's kept me busy as a career for the last 6 months.
I think, and that's incredible too. Now, while we're on the subject of Savs, I want to talk about that February 12th single, No Room. So what can my audience expect looking forward to No Room?
Well, it's my second single, and I'm very, very excited about it. It's like it was always the thought of how to release these things and what order to release them in, because I'm such a novice and an amateur at kind of in the music industry still. But I knew I wanted it to be a single because it means so much to me, and we're at this Airbnb, and the second day we were there, we kind of both just sat down and vented to each other about kind of recent relationships, and I'd just gotten out of a relationship, and so had she, where the person who we wanted to be with also wanted to be with us, but had too much stuff going on inside their head to handle another person in their life. And we both found that very, very frustrating, that this person that we could spend a lot of time with and really enjoy being with, and that person really, really genuinely wants to be with us, but just can't handle it. And it's also quite eerie that we had such similar experiences with that. So we decided to write a song about it, and that became No Room.
Awesome. I want to talk about Different Year, and I'm sorry for backtracking. The thing with Different Year, I really love listening to it. And in fact, I was listening to it before we got on, and it's a great song. I really like it. It's definitely has potential to be your breakout.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
You're so welcome. So what is this? Can you describe the song's story to my audience?
Mm-hmm. So I wrote Different Year with, it was after No Room. Once I started realizing that I had to kind of release stuff, I started writing with a friend of mine. His name is Britton Buchanan. Brilliant singer-songwriter. Became second on The Voice a few years back.
Yes, I remember him. I remember completely. He's fantastic. He's fantastic. He was really good with Alicia.
Yes, yeah, he's phenomenal, and I don't know, he just has a maturity above his years. So we also related because I mean he's from North Carolina. He moved out to LA pretty much right when the pandemic began. And I came from Australia, so we both have that like fish out of water personality trait to us. And I guess that kind of shaped Different Year. Different Year was the second song we ever wrote together, and it kind of came out of nothing. It was the first song that we wrote came out of he had a full verse put together and a whole guitar line, and I just kind of put lyrics to it. But Different Year was really just the first song that he played the first thing that came to his head. I sang the first thing that came to my head, and we just kind of kept writing. And it's the way I love to write. I don't like to write with an idea of what the song is going to be in my head already. I like writing something, and then whatever words come out when I'm singing it, that's really what the song's going to be about. I don't like forcing anything. I think a song's going to be what a song's going to be. And that's what Different Year was. We started writing about, I think the first thing we sung was the chorus. And it was, can I come over? You come here. I wish it would disappear. Can I come over? You come here. If I go to sleep, can I wake up in a different year? And that was what I didn't realize was just a full encapsulation of how both of us felt that year, last year, and I guess this year still. That you just want to go to sleep, close your eyes, and then wake up when everything's fine again. I think that's a relatable feeling that's not only because of the pandemic, but when everyone's going through a really shit time. It's how we deal with stuff. I like to shut everything off and just kind of wish that everything's going to go away, and it's not realistic, but it's what the song's about.
I totally understand that. I totally get that. It's a really good single, guys. You guys need to listen to it. It's phenomenal. I want to talk to you about now you're on this kickstart with all this, with the singles being released of No Room and also with Different Year. Have you thought about who else you want to collaborate with? Any singers, any songwriters and producers? And Nick, how would they enhance your sound?
I mean, I've always loved writing with people. I think it's ever since I started writing 2 years back with my guitarist back in Australia, Ben Cool. I've had a little, I don't know, something in my brain gets tickled when I get to relate with someone and write something about something we've both gone through. And even if it is something one of us has gone through and we both get to relate through that. And I think in that way, I've always idolized someone like Ed Sheeran, who is capable of, he literally just goes into sessions with someone he's never met before and can write a song that sounds like they wrote it, and they sing it. It sounds exactly just like their story. And he puts himself in their shoes so easily. And that's something I idolize. And I think I want to do for anyone, really anyone. But I mean, I love Lewis Capaldi. I think he would be someone I could really get along with. I love writing ballads, writing a lot very recently of just piano ballads that make you want to cry in your room. And he's very good at those. But really, man, anyone who I respect a lot of genres in the music industry, and that's the more I can work with other people in different genres. Britton works primarily in like the country pop genre, and if we work together, it often turns into something like Different Year that has that. It's a little bit of a country like soul vibe that translates more into like the chill pop that I'm used to. I don't know. It's I like, again, putting myself in someone else's shoes to write something that it sounds like they would sing, and that they just wrote on their own.
And I think I love those kinds of artists. I definitely think Ed Sheeran and you would hit it off. And also, I definitely think that it would be great to see maybe a version of Perfect or something like that.
I mean, one day my nan had a bit of a health scare recently, and she was in her hospital bed, and I texted her to make sure everything was okay. And she was like, yeah, I think I just need some musical therapy. That song that everyone plays at weddings. Can you sing that? And I had to ask my mum what song she was talking about. She was talking about Perfect, and I sent her a cover of that. It's a beautiful song. I mean, he writes just phenomenal music. So anything I can do with him, that'd be great.
I just hope that your grand's okay. On behalf
she's
of
great now. She's good now.
Audience.
She's good now.
Good. That's good to hear. That's really good to hear. All righty. So let's move out to social media, because you are very popular when it comes to Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And what are some of your favorite social media platforms, and why do they stand out?
I mean, TikTok is coming out of nowhere, man. It's all of last year, ever since it feels like a pandemic, social media, because it just kind of came out of anything when that hit. But I love TikTok, because it's not only, I think if you do something for Instagram, if I post something on Instagram or tweet something or put something on Facebook, it's going to reach my followers, but not much else. And it's the idea is to gain more followers on those platforms so you can reach more people somehow. But with TikTok, I feel like, because I often don't, and I feel like a lot of people don't go through their followers list to see their TikToks. They go through their For You page, and hopefully that's something that they'll like comes up on their For You page. And I think I love that, because it's something I make can show up on so many complete strangers' For You pages, and gets the reach out there so much further. That's what's exciting, I think, with marketing. Like with the videos I've been doing for Different Year, like I'm getting people who I would never get through Instagram, because they're people who I have never met before, never seen what I've done before. And I think that's really exciting. So I'm putting a lot of time and effort into TikTok now, and I think that's why it's growing so much faster than my other platforms.
Speaking of TikTok, before we recorded this conversation, your videos have received over 1.1 million likes. So it's insane, and congratulations on that milestone.
Thank you. It's stupid.
All right, but however, in your humble opinion, what makes a great TikTok video?
Oh, mate, I think there's so many different sides of TikTok, and I've talked to this with so many people. It's people trying to get on trends and make a TikTok because of a trend, and that's and hoping that that's going to make something explode. Like it was like Vine back in the day. It's there's so many different sides. So if you make what you enjoy making and what you want to promote, and as long as it's good, like if it's good in that market, if it's a funny comedy video, if it's a good song that you're singing, if it's a good cover, whatever, I think that has it's a good leaping off point, as long as the actual video is good and it's good quality. And that's I don't know. I'm definitely not an expert. I've done a few videos that people seem to think are funny or sound good. But I just enjoy doing it, and the more I can do it, the better.
Awesome. That's a great answer to hear. So we got to start wrapping up our conversation.
Okay.
So if you had the opportunity to meet with aspiring singer-songwriters or actors who want to advance their career in the entertainment industry, what advice would you share with them?
I mean, I guess as a 20-year-old, soon to be 21-year-old, I feel a bit weird about giving advice that I haven't gotten before. I haven't really formulated any of my personality isn't, I don't know who I am yet, not even close to it. So I guess what I can give is the stuff that I've been told by people who I respect. And the biggest one that I land on all the time is treat people with the respect that they treat you with. I think that quote's often morphed into just treat people with kindness, but you can see it in our generation that we're starting to realize that not everyone's an angel, and some people need to be held accountable, even if they are 3 times our age, 4 times our age, especially in politics and entertainment industry and all that. I don't know. It feels like I went through my entire school life and in my entertainment career, treating people with the respect that they give me. If people don't treat me with respect or look down on me purely because they think that they're better than me, then I'm not above throwing hands. So I guess that's the one I kind of live by. All
right. So where can my audience look for your music, number one, and number two, where can they connect with you on social media?
Well, that's the biggest one. I think as much as you can follow me on all my socials, I'm Nicholas Hamilton, pretty much everywhere. The biggest thing right now is getting people to listen to Different Year and eventually No Room. I don't know if you've heard of the song Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, but it's killing it on TikTok now. It's absolutely smashing it. And my little very smart brain released my debut single on the same day that she released her song. So as you can imagine, we're doing well, but not well. And we'd like some more streams. So if you genuinely do like the song, tell your friends about it, tell your family about it. We just need people's ears on it. And we want to keep doing this and making good music. And that's the biggest goal.
Awesome. You heard him, guys. As soon as you're done with this conversation, go grab that song. Go listen to it. Go download it. Anyway, and while you're on the subject of downloading, if you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, head to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. Just type in Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Once again, JACOBELYACHAR. And are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Just type in Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And Jake's Take is celebrating its 10th anniversary year this year.
Very
Thank
cool.
you. Thanks, Nick. And here's the thing, guys. So go to the blog that started it all, jakes-take.com. Once again, jakes-take.com. Nick, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me. I really appreciate it. You're awesome. You are going to be a bright rising star, and I hope that we have more conversations in the future.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I hope so too.
You're so welcome, guys. And thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to watching. And thank you so much for listening. And until next time, have a great one.